What is up, my dude? So, today is a Sunday, and I just got over a pretty awful illness. I was really achy and just feeling just awful, and that's probably what I was feeling in my last video, so that's good to know. Yeah, it makes me feel a lot more sane, I suppose, that I was feeling that way, obviously for reasons that actually are real. And then also because I was gonna be sick, so I was probably already feeling off, which I appreciate. So anyway, I just wanted to get on here and talk to you a little bit about where you are currently in your politics and entertainment fields. Because the thing is you got really into politics in 2025 and 2024. Those were big years for you, and I want you to know that you're currently in a state of you don't really care. You agree with the right most of the time, and you were fairly square on the right in your political thinking, but you also have very little power when it comes to changing people's minds about things, and you have given up on that. And I think that's healthy. I want to let you know that I think that is very healthy. Good for you. Yeah. Obviously, you would like to have conversations and hopefully convince people to see your side of things, because you are a Make America Great Again girl. You are. And so you would like to be friends with people who agree with you. And thankfully, you are friends with Jessie, and she does agree with you most of the time. But she also doesn't care about talking about it, and so you kind of fell off as well. And that brings me to, I did a YouTube subscription purge recently, and you got rid of basically all of the political commentators that you were watching, and I think that's very healthy. You currently only are subscribed to, I believe, 2, and that's because you will never not be subscribed to John Doyle. He changed your freaking life, and you will always follow him, no matter what he's doing. I can't imagine he would say something that would irk you too much, because I think as far as people you agree with politically, it's going to be John Doyle. And so you're keeping up with news with John Doyle, and then you are also subscribed to Jeremy Boring, which I cannot believe, because you used to hate this man. And not when you were liberal. I mean when you were, not that long ago. You disliked this person. And then something changed to where Jeremy Boring he started his own YouTube channel. He's no longer at the Daily Wire. I think he's with PragerU, which makes sense. I think that works. And I don't remember what the video was. It was probably a Candace Owens video, which, by the way, you cannot stand Candace Owens. Even though you did at one point, and she was a huge reason for your awakening when it comes to social politics and Black Lives Matter and stuff like that. So you could thank her for that, but she has gone off the deep end, and she's a crazy person, and she hates Charlie Kirk's wife, his poor widow, because that also happened last year. No, this year. No. Yeah, last year. Gosh, I can't believe it's been that long already. That it was, you could say that happened last year, but yeah, anyway, Candace Owens just sucks now, so you don't like her. I also think she's just kind of crazy, and I say that with hope in my heart that she can come around to some kind of humility, but she seems very egotistical at this moment in time. she could do no wrong, and she knows what's up, and she's gonna say what she feels, and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, we're talking about Jerry Boring, because Jeremy obviously had a huge falling out with Candace Owens, and that was the reason that you didn't like him. That and the Brett Cooper thing, which is also super weird and odd. So he stopped paying attention to him and everything like that. But yeah, then he started making a lot of sense. He's obviously very anti-Candace, and you are also currently very anti-Candace, and he's making a lot of sense. And he's also very supportive of industry and changing your mindset about the future of the world. It's very hopeful. He's a very hopeful man. He's very pragmatic also. He's like a realist when it comes to like our current situation and what's going on, but he's hopeful about the future, which you can appreciate. I think that's why you were watching Michael Knowles, but Michael Knowles became very boring. And the stories that he talked about, I just didn't care about anymore. I think the world has become a little bit boring. Like, politics has become a little bit boring. So you need to go a little bit more esoteric with your politics. Like, it's got to be more interesting than, oh, this happened, blah, 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 you know? So, like, I don't know how to describe, like, those kinds of situations. It's more like, it's more like this happened on a train, or this person said this, and obviously we're still in the woke era and stuff like that. Like, Michael Knowles just became a little bit too focused on being anti-woke rather than, and it's not like he's actually anti-woke, but the stories that he would say were very anti-woke. And obviously you are anti-woke, but the term has become just so, like, you know what it means. You know that person's starting to drive you a little bit insane. And so, yeah, you don't want to talk about or hear about that anymore, except for when it comes to your entertainment. And you've got other channels that you could watch for that, because they're a lot more in-depth of actually talking about the movie or TV show or whatever. So you're still subscribed to those people, the entertainment side, but that's because you just like entertainment. So anyway, it was a pretty big YouTube purge that I did. It was a lot of people that I was subscribed to at the time, and that you got rid of. But I want to say a quick thank you to, like, those people who helped me in the past 2 years with my political awakening. Benny Johnson, let's see, George Foreman, who else? Obviously, Michael Knowles, Matt Walsh. You appreciate their help in that. And then I'm not subscribed to them anymore, so it's been a couple weeks since I did the purge, and they're kind of like fading away. What was that guy's name? He was like an older gentleman who's from California, and he was like an artist or whatever. And I liked his channel. Doug something. Doug. Anyway, he was great. He was good. I forget what his name was too. Paul Watson. That's a good one. Oh, you're still subscribed to the Wade Show. Yeah, I didn't get rid of that. I think the Wade Show is just kind of awesome, so I'm never getting rid of that. His video about that show on NBC or something like that, that's going on, like that people who still watch network television watch and talk about on Facebook, is so freaking funny. I forget what it's called, but it's like 911. Anyway, yeah, that was a hilarious video, so you'll never stop watching the Wade Show. He doesn't post that often anyway. Sorry, this video is kind of all over the place, but yeah, I just wanted to come on here and talk about, like, where you are at when it comes to politics, because I think it'd be good to know for future me. Future me should know where you're at this current day. Yeah, May 31st, 2026. You are currently apathetic about that. You're currently apathetic about the state of the United States and the war and the immigrant problem. Like, obviously all these things are important and you still understand them to a certain extent, but you're not following it. You're not looking at it. You're not paying attention. And honestly, I think that's great. I think you're doing a good job. Good job. Yeah. Another reason for the purge was just because I was watching way too much YouTube, and I still watch way too much YouTube, so I would like to watch less YouTube. Yeah, I would like to watch less YouTube. In other news, you did finish your book club book, so hey, good for you. You're not waiting until the last minute to do that. And then you read another part of this book, The Trust, and wow. It says on here a novel by Pulitzer Prize finalist. Yeah, I can understand. I think this, if it can stick the landing, because there's only 2 parts left, and if it could stick the landing, I think this might go down as the best book I've read this year. Yeah, I mean, Empire Silence was super good. It'd be hard to beat that so far. I think Empire Silence is definitely like my favorite book of the year so far. But, and I'm not counting manga, because obviously Attack on Titan is so good. But if this can stick the landing, I think that this could be really good. And you enjoyed the Carly Fortune's book that we're reading for book club. You did. But it just didn't quite hit in the way that you wanted it to. I thought the ending conflict was a little forced, to be honest. I don't think it needed to happen. Obviously, that's fine. It's a normal book, but I do think it was a little bit forced, and it didn't need to occur. These people are best friends, and for them to do that, for them to conflict that way, was just it was a little unrealistic. I mean, not that unrealistic. Like I could potentially see it, but it just didn't quite work as well as it should have, in my opinion. So it is a 4-star. But honestly, Carly Fortune has done a great job. It was a good story. It was a good, like, you got really into the characters. I really liked the characters. I thought they were good and interesting, and I wanted them to get together, and I was rooting for them, you know? So that's really all you can ask for when it comes to those kinds of books. And so far, she hasn't missed. I think Carly Fortune really knows how to write, like, a really cute couple. Maybe a little bit unrealistic when it comes to the guys, but then again, I don't really know guys that well. So maybe that is how they are. I've never had a boyfriend, so who knows? Maybe that's how they act when they're in love. I've never been in love. I've never seen what it's like for someone to be in love with me. So maybe that's just how they are, you know? But yeah, you liked that book, and you really are enjoying this and looking forward to finishing it. Obviously not tonight because you smoked a little weed and now you can't read, but yeah. Anyway, it was good talking. Another thing you did today, I guess, because why not? Let's just make this a 20-minute video. Let's talk about this next. So this right here is the Word on Fire Bible. You've already read the first volume, which was the Gospels, and your sister has it. So, not that she's ever going to read it, but who knows? It's there for her if she would like to, because sometimes it just needs to be available. So, if she has some kind of revelation, I want her to be able to just pick it up right away and not have to wait and think about it, you know? So, which is what I pray for. So, she can keep it, even though it is absolutely gorgeous and I would like to keep it. I would like it back, but I understand. But anyway, this is the second volume, which you are a little over halfway through now, I think. Yeah, so it's pretty good. This is all you've read so far, and this is what you have left. You just finished 1 Timothy, so, well, not just, but today you finished 1 Timothy, and obviously, if you don't remember, then you have these little notebooks. Please go and look through them, I suppose, and if you would like a refresher on which quotes from the Bible you were thinking about while you were reading them, and wrote them down because you wanted to remember them and take the time to write them down. So anyway, these are absolutely gorgeous editions. Obviously, religion is another thing that you are currently working on, thinking about a lot. Maybe not as much as you should, but maybe just the right amount for religion itself. But as far as like thinking about Jesus, you should be thinking about Jesus more. You try, you do okay. But yeah, as far as religion goes, you're thinking about what your denomination is, because obviously this was written by Bishop Barron, and I mean, not the Bible, but the things in the Bible. It was put together by Bishop Barron, and he's Catholic, and you would like to be Catholic, but you don't know any Catholic people, and it's hard to join something on your own. It is. I'm just gonna be honest. And so what's your plan? Obviously, if you're moving to Utah, your plan is to go to church with your brother and his family. So, which I think will be very good for me, and that's another reason why I'd like to move to Utah. I've said this before. So anyway, you're doing really good as far as getting over an illness and feeling a lot better since last time I posted a video. And you've been reading a lot more, and you've been cutting back on YouTube and watching some shows that you haven't seen in a while. By the way, you rewatched Hannibal. Honestly, I moved it down the list. I don't think it's top 5 anymore. And that's not because of the first 2 seasons, because I think the first 2 seasons are freaking flawless. But the 3rd season, especially the first half, is so weird. And it just irks me in a way that I just want to strangle. Like, obviously it makes sense. I understand why they did it. I think they went a little overboard. It was kind of jumping the shark just a little bit. But the second half of the season is good. And like some of the best lines of dialogue when it comes to Will. I think it's Will's best season. Obviously, season 2 is really good Will and everything like that, because he's like stuck in jail or whatever. Like, I think that's a really good, like, season 2B or 2A is really, really good Will, but I think season 3B is like peak Will for me. It might be peak Hannibal as well. No, you know what? I think peak Hannibal is season 2B. Yeah, I think Hannibal is season 2B. I think that's his peak because, yeah, he's so good. That's, oh, gosh. Okay, so, like I said, like, it's still a great show, and I thought, oh, this will totally be my top 5 forever and ever, but it's not. It's not going to be. I already moved it down. It's not my top 5 anymore. So, yeah. I just think that season 3A is not very good. I mean, it's good, but it's a little wacky, and I think it just doesn't work with the rest of the show. It doesn't make it a cohesive show. There's like this weird other story that they forced in. It's almost like a side story, but it takes up half the season, and everybody's just so weird. Alana's weird, and I mean, Chilton's barely in it. But then you got Verger. The Vergers are super weird, and we got way too much of them. The Patsy is barely in it, and I feel bad for him. Like, that sucks. Like, he was supposed to be like the new, like, he was supposed to team up with Will or whatever. Obviously, that wasn't gonna happen, but like, why bring him in? It's just kind of weird. Like, he has like the same way of looking at the world that Will does, and then nothing happens with that. Like, he's unable to, I think that's strange. But anyway, oh yeah, and Shio. What, I mean, fine. It's fine. It's just a little long and a little bit weird, and I understand it, and it's okay. It still fits, but it doesn't, like, it's not snug. And so, yeah, I moved it down the list, just so you know. Yeah. So, anyway, and then you also watched, something else, which I'll talk about it a later time, I suppose. I think this is good enough for now. Good video, Rachel. Good job. Okay. Okay, basically, I just wanted to let you know that you're feeling better. And I think you deserve to know, future me, that you are fine and that everything is going to work out. So, yeah. Talk to you later. May the Lord bless you and keep you. Amen.